You don't have a relationship, you're in one.
The space between you and another person, that's the relational space. And we're constantly filling it with things like our energy, our emotion and behavior, and even our morning breath.
Is that where we're starting? Most people approach a relationship like it's something they possess, like a shared Google Doc or a Costco membership card, like it's a thing. But it's not a thing. It's a living, breathing dynamic between you and the other person. And what you put into that relational space shapes the experience of what's it like to be in relationship with you.
So if you're putting things into the relational space like criticism and judgment and anger, then all those things become the air that the other person has to breathe. And guess what? You have to breathe it in too. Imagine you're trying to connect with someone, but the air between you becomes very foggy. This is going to actually start to cause you to feel some tension, some stress, because you can't see that person through the fog, and you're going to begin to feel unsafe. And then what we tend to do is we tend to say, oh, look at that fog that the other person is creating. Why is Jeff creating this fog? This is a problem. And then rather than owning my part, I blame him for the fog.
Mm-hmm. So, for example, you might think, oh, I'm going to be honest with my partner now. And so now's time for honesty. But if you're slinging that honesty like it's a dodgeball game and just whipping things in, the other person's going to feel the impact of those hits. And it's not going to feel good. So things like every eye roll that I do to her, sigh,
or every time you raise the volume.
Or I stonewall you and say, that's it, we're done talking about this.
Or there's that criticism that comes in.
All these little things are going to impact the fogginess of what you and the other person experience.
And so rather than coming together as partners and as a team, we actually start to make each other competitors.
You're bringing the fog.
Oh, it's your fog. If you just change this, we would have clear space between us.
What the fog is going on here?
The idea is that you're both contributing to this relational space, and if there's fog, there's a reason.
Hey everyone, if we haven't met before, we're Jeff and Ellen. We're life and relationship coaches, and we help people connect better, fight smarter, and co-create relationships that actually feel good to be in.
And besides being an actual married couple, we are business partners, we are parents together, and we have helped thousands of couples clean up their relational space. And how we came to do that? Because our relational space was pretty filled with a lot of junk. And once we learned how to clean up ours, that made all the difference in the world to how we connect.
We're like the Molly Maid of relationships.
So here are 3 things that we've done that we know work when it comes to cleaning up the relational space.
Number 1, take responsibility for what you put into the relational space. The first step in taking responsibility for what you bring means you have to be aware of what you're bringing. Because if you're not aware of what you're bringing, you can't change it. So it's important to get information about what is it going between you and I. Now, I may claim what I'm putting into the space is all positive vibes, but the truth is that may not be it. So for example, in the cooking analogy of us making soup, I may think, oh, I'm just adding flavors and salt. But Ellen
you might be
say,
over salting and adding flavors that I don't actually like.
Or I might just putting in a dead fish. And if I don't know, there's no way I can change that. So part of taking responsibility is getting information from your partner.
Because I have my own nervous system and I have my own way I do life and like to experience life. And although Jeff's way may be wonderful, it's just not my way and what is wonderful for me. And the only way he's going to know is by asking me.
Because Ellen has high credibility in my life, I will seek to get information from her about what I'm putting in. For example, lots of sticky notes for things to do on the weekend.
Oh, yeah.
I think I'm bringing joy, excitement, variety, lots of energy and motivation.
Possibility.
Oh yeah.
The satisfaction of getting a whole bunch of stuff done.
I think, isn't that a great partner? I'm bringing a lot to the table.
And I'm thinking, my God, you are bringing so much stress to my life. You are bringing so much of the things you want to get done, but they're not necessarily the things I want to get done or at the pace I want to get done.
So differentiation means that while I think that this is what I'm putting in, the other person gets to explain what their experience is. So while I think I'm bringing joy, I'm actually maybe bringing stress.
So take responsibility and check it out. Ask, is what I'm putting into this space, is this behavior or this thing I'm putting into our relational space working for you?
Number 2, remember impact comes before intention.
This one's really big. This one's super important because so many of us think that if we're well-intentioned, that's all that really matters. But the truth is, it's the impact of our behavior that matters more or matters first before we consider the intention. I can have the best intentions to be funny, to be supportive, to be loving, and do kind gestures. But if that's not how it's being received, then that's all that really matters in the relational space because that's what I'm actually adding.
Lots of people talk about love languages, claiming like, well, this is my love language. But just because I speak my love language doesn't mean that the other human speaks that same love language. My love language may not land well with her love language.
He could be giving me all the gifts in the world, but that's not my love language. And so he's actually creating more irritation and frustration and a feeling that I'm not being seen for who I am or how I like to receive love.
So love languages are not just about knowing your own love language, it's about being multilingual, knowing more than one language. I should be able to speak the love language of Ellen, and Ellen speaks my language. The impact first before my intention. Another example is that I talk with people just in non-romantic relationships, how you shake hands or how you greet people. Now I may come in and saying, hey buddy, and give a really strong handshake and a pop on the arm and go, God, I love you, pal. My good intention might say that's my love language. I give people a really squeezing hard handshake and a shot in the arm because that's me. That's how I share love.
But I am like going, ow, and if I see you coming near me, I'm crossing the street because I'm like, this is going to hurt.
So who needs to change? If we go by intention first, well, I get to claim it's with love. So you negate your impact and make your impact go away because I have good intentions here. No, it's impact first. I should have lots of ways that I show and express my love to my friends and people. So instead of a bone-crushing handshake, maybe a wave, maybe just a nice, hey, how are you? Or a hug. I don't have to pop someone in the arm or put them in a headlock. I could have a variety of ways to express. So therefore, I have the impact that I'm wanting to have on the other person, and that comes from them. Number 3, treat your relational space like it's sacred ground.
Because if your relationship with any other is important to you, then the ground that supports it and sustains it should be considered sacred. If we just have the attitude that, oh, whatever I put in is fine, I like it, this is fine for me, or I'm doing the best I can, then we're dumping all kinds of toxic energy, in and amongst maybe the good stuff too, but that toxic energy is having an impact. And then one day when our relationship is falling apart or the other person's upset with us or they don't see us the way we want to be seen, we shouldn't act surprised and have that deer in the headlight look of, what? You're not happy? If we're not treating this ground, this space as sacred, then we're allowing ourselves just to go willy-nilly on anything that goes in it. But when we're conscious, and if we just don the attitude that this space is sacred, it helps us automatically to change our behavior, to maybe move a little slower, to think before we act or speak, because we know we're shaping something really important.
So for example, sharing a bathroom with someone.
Yeah.
Now, if I show up in our relationship taking responsibility, but saying, this is just who I am, I'm a slob, I leave my towel on the ground, I splash toothpaste on the mirror, the sink has got my shavings all over the place, my underwear, that I might say, fine, that's just who I am. But am I leaving it just for Ellen to be the one who cleans it up and she has to feel that? Well, when I think about the impact of that, it's no one else's partner other than mine. So if I want a happy partner, what I put in is not nothing. It's going to have an impact. So not only do I have responsibility for what I put in, but I might change and update how I engage in this. And this is like a requestive skill set. I might need to leave the bathroom a little cleaner. My relationship may be asking that of me because we breathe and experience this relationship, which further promotes what's it like to be in relationship with Jeff? Is he a slob? Or is she like, I really love being in relationship because I selfishly want my wife to be happy. I'm going to clean up my act, so to speak.
And not only do I get a cleaner bathroom experience, a nicer bathroom to walk into, but it actually strengthens our bond because I know he's doing that for me. He might just normally have left the towel on the ground or the shavings from after he shaved in the sink, but because he
toilet seat up.
Yes, or the toilet seat up. But because he is sharing it with me, and I know that he's doing this behavior for us and for me, that actually bonds us even more.
It shows her that the us, the togetherness, what we are creating is important to me.
As we started, you don't have a relationship, you're in a relationship. And while this is the space I take up in the world, and this is the space Jeff takes up in the world, our relationship takes up this space that's in between us. And so what we put into that space shapes the experience of what it's like to be in relationship between us.
So that requires us to both become aware of what we're putting in and take responsibility so that we can co-create something that is more equitable and fair and balanced for both of us. Relationships are not built on the big events or dramatic gestures. They're built in the small daily behaviors that we put in as deposits into the bank of our relationship. Healthy behaviors over time.
Little input, little input, little input, little input adds up to really big things. Hey, if this landed with you, then please subscribe to our channel and share it with anyone who you think their relational space needs a little spring cleaning.
And if you want to learn to maybe stop polluting and more co-creating with someone else, check us out at jeffandellen.com, where we explain in detail our relational intelligence program. Check out this next video.
Thanks for sharing this space with us.